like the way you attacked Chris and Cosmo. It's one thing to take them prisoner and threaten them, but when you actually hurt somebody, that's going too far.
You said it, Doctor! Even we have some principle!
Snively!
Oh no! Yes, sir.
I hate him! I hate him! Hate him! Hate! 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 Hate!
Yo guys, what's going on? This is Jason, and today we're going to be talking more Sonic characters. Today we're going to be tackling the infamous Dr. Eggman, aka Julian Ivo Robotnik. That's his real name if you didn't know that. Now Dr. Eggman, or Robotnik, is a pretty vile person, as we know. This guy was able to conquer Mobius in a day with this, one machine that was able to convert Mobian into a more Robotropolis. Now, when we're stepping away from the more goofy Eggman, the ones we're accustomed to, the family-friendly jokester, the Eggman I grew up with was a vile guy. This guy was so vile that he would roboticize most of the Mobians. That's pretty damn edgy if you ask me. When roboticized, the Mobians become slaves for Dr. Eggman's empire. Now keep in mind, that's when the Resistance was born, and when Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman's arch enemy Sonic, becomes a main clash between the empire and of course the Resistance. Now, there are many variations between the Dr. Robotnik's past. There's theories that he is originally from Earth. How he got to Mobian is by his own technology. It's never covered. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because don't forget that Dr. Robotnik had a grandfather named Gerald Robotnik. Now we call it Dr. Robotnik also has a nephew. I think his name is Snively Robotnik. Now I'm not going to cover him. I just want to let you know a little bit about the family history behind the Robotnik family. Of course, there's Maria Robotnik. Now, when it comes to the origins of Robotnik and how Robotnik came to be, keep in mind that the original origins, Robotnik wasn't an evil guy. He was actually a really good scientist who was trying to rid the world of evil by entrapping the negative energy into these magical rocks, as we call the Chaos Emeralds. Eventually, something goes wrong in the office, the science office, and he accidentally trips on one of his wires, where he falls into the negative energy that pretty much infuses into his body, becoming Dr. Eggman. Now, most people don't realize that Sonic the Hedgehog, when I mentioned in my last video, Sonic the Hedgehog was originally helping Eggman to rid the world from evil, and that's kind of how the whole rivalry and the whole Eggman versus Sonic started. Now, when it comes to Robotnik's personality, like I said, he's a pretty vile person. This guy is the epitome of evil if we're talking about like the original animated series and the beginning early versions of the comic book. Robotnik is feared, man. Even Snively cowers in the presence of Robotnik when he starts screaming and yelling. Even the bounty hunters that Robotnik hires tends to cower in the presence of Robotnik. Now, when it comes to Dr. Robotnik's past and just his motivations, this guy is able to create some pretty advanced machinery to challenge resistance, and of course his main nemesis, Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, the Robotnik that we're accustomed to, the family-friendly jokester, he's alright. I think some of his jokes and some of his one-liners are pretty catchy sometimes. But I've always liked the Robotnik that's just, pure evil, man. Because he's pretty menacing, and the villain should be menacing. Now, when it comes to the powers of Robotnik, Robotnik doesn't have powers. He has knowledge. He has a high IQ of 300. He's able to make these complex contraptions out of machines, and each time he builds a new machine, it gets better, and it seems like his contraptions gets closer of defeating Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I will admit that Dr. Eggman, the one we're known, is good at being an escape artist. I do like Mike Pollock as Robotnik. I think he does a really great job when it comes to the early Eggman. Now, the one thing about Eggman now is he's kind of like a pushover, and I kind of wish Sega would go back to more of that menacing Eggman so we can start taking this character more seriously. Now, when it comes to Dr. Eggman, he's a pretty cool, he's a cool character. He's definitely had a long way when it comes to the Sonic history, and he's been with the Sonic franchise since day one. But when it comes to his backstory hasn't really changed. It's one of the only characters I think that actually has been kind of legitimate and has been kind of sticking to what Eggman does best, and his story hasn't really changed at all, and I think that's good. Other than that, guys, I hope you liked this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and until then, I'll see you later.